The world's leading figures in the oil and gas industries have gathered in London for International Petroleum Week. Some experts suggest tensions in the Middle East are inflating prices, but there are also concerns that EU sanctions on Iran could be increasing costs for consumers. RT's Sarah Firth reports.
Thousands of oil and gas professionals from around the world have gathered here in London for the annual International Petroleum Week to listen to talks from senior industry figures. Now, last year and the buzz around sanctions on Iran dominated the talks. Those sanctions were supposed to bring Iran to the negotiating table over their nuclear program. But for some, and the sanctions couldn't have come at a worse time. A loss of production in South Sudan, in Yemen, in the North Sea, and now in Syria has been driving prices higher. And Iranian crude still in demand in Asia. And with the UK's problem with millions of homes struggling with fuel poverty being echoed all across the European Union right now, is it the European consumer who's been hardest hit by these sanctions? We've been speaking to some industry insiders to find out what they think. So obviously you've got the private companies then sort of carrying out political decisions that are having very tough economic effects. What would you say to that? It looks like the oil and gas companies sort of in bed with the government.
I don't see it that way at all. I think the politicians around the world have to make the decisions and the companies have to get on with business, technology business, commercial business.
But now what we see with Iran, oil being used as a political weapon.
I wouldn't use that sort of phrase. I mean, I think it's always the case that as years go by, governments around the world set policies on trade and other things, and the company's job is to apply the best technology and the best commerce to comply with whatever the environment is at the time.
To get the best deal for consumers, ultimately.
Ultimately, that's the job, yes.
But consumers are saying right now that gas and oil prices through the roof.
Well, the best thing, yes, you're right, and the best thing we can do is invest. So unfortunately, the age of easy oil and cheap oil, I think, is past. But we're finding more oil and the technology is getting better and better. What we've got to do is to ensure it doesn't peak. And the best thing that we can do is to get the technology deployed, get the best work practices, get the finance in, and get additional oil production, because that's the best thing the companies can do to dampen the potential rise in prices.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.